You ever felt like you need to poop, but nothing happens? Or maybe you sit there for ages, pushing and straining and wondering what's wrong. You drink the water, you eat the fiber, you've tried all the things, but what if your pelvic floor is actually the missing piece? So happy you're here to talk about constipation, something that a lot of women don't realize that is connected to the pelvic floor. So when we think of pelvic floor, we think of pelvic floor dysfunctions, we think of leaking, prolapse, urgency, but your pelvic floor also has to relax to have a bowel movement. So one of the jobs of your pelvic floor muscles is sphincter control. And that's not just with peeing, that's with pooping as well. So if you're constantly gripping, holding tension, it can make it a lot harder for stool to pass. So think about it as like trying to walk through a doorway that's only half open and trying to squeeze your way through that doorway. You can push all you want and you can try and get through that doorway all you want. But if the door doesn't open, it's going to be very difficult to get through. Now, one thing I do want to mention is I am a pelvic floor fitness coach. I'm not a dietitian. I'm not a nutritionist. I have no background in nutrition or dietitian. Okay, it's not my thing. It's not my niche. I'm all about the pelvic floor. So I do want to briefly mention that constipation can certainly have many other causes like diet, hydration, medication, medical conditions. So today we're just talking about constipation in the pelvic floor. Because it is a piece that is overlooked. So just wanted to throw that out there. So let's get into the tips. Tip number 1, stop pushing and straining. Like, what is the first thing you do? And I've been there before, trust me. You're in like panic mode because you can't poop and you like know you're constipated. But what do? We strain, we push, we hold our breath. We're like, right? We get frustrated, we bear down, we push harder. But the problem is this actually just increases that pressure on the pelvic floor. So it starts to tighten, it starts to clench, and it doesn't relax. It's in clench mode, right? Because we're in clench mode. We're in like, get this out of me, right? So instead of panic mode and just trying to do everything you can to push out the poop, take a slow breath. And there it is, talking about breath again. So take a slow inhale and a long exhale. Let your body and belly soften. And imagine your pelvic floor melting, opening, just letting go. Okay, this may take a couple of tries. This may not be something that you do right away. It could just take, it's going to take a bit from your body to go from like straining and pushing to go to relax mode. But just soften, maybe even distract yourself. So start to think of something else, like, maybe start like just count, like just do something that's going to distract the brain and just something that's going to just relax you. Okay. So relaxing is going to work 1,000 times better than pushing. Okay. And I will tell you that I have been in those times where it's been like push, push, push. And then I say to myself, Crystal, like pushing and panicking isn't working. And I just take a second, take deep breaths in, diaphragmatic breaths in through the nose, out through the mouth, and relax. And honestly, the poop just comes out. So relax, take some deep breaths in, and take your time. Okay, so that's tip number 1. Tip number 2 is change your toilet position. So I've talked about this in past episodes where we just kind of sit on the toilet, try and go, like go, try and go, whatever you're doing. And then we leave, right? No thought to, and again, it's just these habits that we have, right? No thought to how we're sitting on the toilet. So a lot of toilets are also designed very differently. And obviously our bodies are all different, right? So how you sit on the toilet is going to make a big shift in difference to how you pee and, most importantly, what we're talking about today, poop. So we don't want to sit at a perfect 90 degrees, okay? We want to give our body a exit way, okay? So things you can try, and you've probably heard there's the squatty potty or using a small stool. Honestly, when the squatty potty first came out, it was like, are you kidding me? But yes, it like makes a huge difference. So putting your feet on a small stool so they're elevated a little bit, so your knees are higher than your hips. Leaning forward slightly also just tends to shift the body in a way where the poo will directly come out and has an exit strategy. You can rest your elbows on your knees, or just kind of rest your maybe more your forearms on your thighs, just creating more of a forward, so that leaning forward, and then keeping your belly soft. Okay, so again, when we soften the belly, we're taking away that clenching and that sucking in and that bracing. So I find, if anything, using a small stool to keep those knees higher, and then just that slight move, like slightly shifting your upper body forward, will make a big difference. So this is helping to straighten the rectum so things move out more easily, okay? I've talked about this in the past. Again, it really goes hand in hand to your alignment and how you stand, and your positioning makes a big difference on how your core functions. So when we're tension and we're not in the right position, these habits can make it more difficult for your body to function properly. So these small little adjustments will make a big difference. So try that next time you are pooping and peeing on the toilet. Tip number 3 is, we kind of talked a little bit about this in tip number 1, but learning to let your pelvic floor go. So if you're like a jaw clencher, a bum gripper, you suck in your stomach all the time, you hold your breath. And, I've talked about this in past episodes as well, how we clench, we have these protection strategies that our body does that we don't even realize that we're doing. There's a good chance if you're clenching your jaw, your bum, your belly, you're also holding that tension in your pelvic floor as well. So throughout the day, ask yourself, like, am I holding tension I don't need? And we talked about this in the last episode, just about creating that awareness. So continuing on that, because that tension could be what's causing the constipation. So unclenching your jaw, relaxing your bum, letting your belly soften, taking a few deep breaths. It's all about like relaxing. If you're someone who is like on the go, type A, what's next, on to the next thing, your body is always, big topic of conversation that is fight or flight. We talk a lot about that in your nervous system. So how is your body going to want to relax to let poop out if you are always on? So just taking that time to just unclench. So learning how to let go of your pelvic floor. We can also do this through exercise, through actual tools like release balls, pool noodles. There's so many other ways that I teach women in my membership and when I work with women in person on how you can actually release your pelvic floor. You can go to pelvic floor physio to get release work done as well. So there's lots of ways to learn how to relax your pelvic floor. But starting to just notice, and diaphragmatic breathing is a great way to start that, especially doing it on the toilet as well. It's a great way to build that habit in. So every time you're on the toilet, it's a great opportunity to take those breaths in, because we talked about early, part of your pelvic floor's job is sphincter control. And if we're tight and we're gripping and we're holding tension all the time, it's going to be really hard if we're not learning how to let go of those muscles. Okay. So that's also a great way. Toilet's a great way to just meditate. So to wrap up, if constipation has become your normal and you've tried everything, you've done the diet changes, you haven't had much success around that, don't forget to consider your pelvic floor. And sometimes the problem is the tension, the tightness that you're holding your pelvic floor. Those muscles are overworked. And the last thing, when you then add in pushing out poop, the last thing they want to do is help with that, because they're gripping, you're basically train them to be on all the time. So learning how to release and just simply asking your body to let go. Thank you so much for listening. I hope these tips help you next time you go on the potty to have a number 2, and just start to consider other ways you can release. So it could be through breath work, stretches, releases, and start to learn how to let go to build that functionality back in your pelvic floor and have it working with you and not against you. Thanks so much, guys. Enjoy the rest of your day.